Hello there. How are you? What can I help you with today? You'd like to make an appointment? Okay. Let me get my book out here. So, what are you looking to get done? Can I have your name, please? Okay. Is that 2 L's? Okay. And your phone number? Okay. So what are you looking to get done with your hair? Do you want to dye it? Do you want me to like thin it out, style it? Just a trim? Okay. Trying to look good for summertime? I see. It's pretty relatable. I just chopped off all of my hair not too long ago. So, how soon do you want to do this? Because I think, let me look at my appointments real quick. So, okay, so my only available spot is in 2.5 weeks from now. Like, it's summertime, it's very busy. But you can either come in 2 Saturdays from now, or we can, trying to see. You said just a trim? Well, your hair doesn't feel that thick. I think, sorry for the noise, by the way. It's what you get for having a shop on the main street. Well, considering your hair type and its texture and thickness, I might be able to squeeze you in right now. My next appointment is in 30 minutes, and I can definitely give you a trim in like 20. Probably less than that, to be honest. Yeah, so we can do that if you want. Sound good? Okay. Just to let you know, trims cost anywhere from $30 to $50. It all depends really on what you get along with it. Basic trim, $30, but if you want a trim and thinning, or for me to trim up your layers, that's like in the 50s. Okay. Alright, sound good? Okay. I will have you take a seat in chair 4 over there. Yep, it's the pink chair. And I will be over there in just a few minutes. Hi, I just had to grab some stuff. So, just a trim? Yeah. Nope, that sounds good to me. Do you want any layers? It doesn't look like you have any layers in your hair, actually. No, like right there. And there, kind of. Or just very straight and flat. Personally, I think layers look good in most people, but it really is all up to you. But we'll start with just a trim, and if you're interested in layers, we can always do this at the end. So, let's see here. I had to fill up my water bottle. So, I'm going to put this around neck before we begin, just so that any hair that falls down doesn't get on your clothes. So, I'm just going to yeah, I don't like to have the hair sopping wet, especially for me. I know I always used to hate it when hairdressers would make my hair sopping wet and then blow dry it, because my hair never looks good blow dried. But they'd only have to blow dry it because they would literally just completely soak my hair in water for really no reason. After I went to cosmetology school, I realized that a lot of hairdressers I went to actually make a lot of mistakes. And looking back now, it's weird to criticize my own hairdressers. So, you do have a little bit of longish hair, so I am going to use a clip just so we can work in different patches, if you will. So I'm just gonna take up your top layer of hair and just there. Okay. Now here's my super cute trimming scissors. I also have these scissors, but these are more for big, aggressive cuts, if you will. Yeah. Well, aggressive cut as in they're cutting off more than like 3 inches of hair. Yeah. They're nice. They do need to be sharpened though. Most people that come in here, especially in the summer months, you get pretty big chops. So I usually have those scissors on standby. Now that this clip is in, I'm just gonna use this wooden brush and brush out the section of your hair. I don't know why hairdressers brush their client's hair before trimming, because when you keep putting it up in like a claw clip, I find that the hair just gets snarled over and over again, and there's just no point. So now that's all brushed out, I'm just going to take your hair So I've never seen you in here before. Have you just come in and seen the other hairdressers here, or is this your first time here? Well, it's kind of hard to have a business, I suppose, in this part of town. A hair cutting business, I should say. Because it seems like every 2 blocks there's just another hairdresser, you know? So, what do you do for school? Oh. No, I didn't mean to be a creep or anything, but I was just assuming from your college sweatshirt that you went to school. Yeah. Business? That's a good thing to get into. I think business is definitely the way to go if you're definitely like undecided in a major, you know? Yeah. I went to college for, what was it? I don't even remember. It was so long ago. I went 2 years for cosmetology to get my license, but then I went 2 years in community college for, I think it was business actually, but I don't remember much from community college because it just was not a good time, you know. No, there's nothing wrong with community college, but the one I went to just was not it. All the classes were online, and I can't force myself to be motivated when doing work from home. So I'm just gonna brush out any You do really have some healthy hair. It doesn't look like you've ever dyed it before. No? No. I mean, the first time I ever dyed my hair, I dyed it blue. So, bleached it, then dyed it blue. Well, it wasn't my full head of hair, but it was like to my shoulders. So now I'm gonna take the claw clip out, and I'm going to section your hair. I'm just gonna wet it a little bit more. And then I'm just gonna brush out another section. Okay, and I'm just gonna clip everything else right in like that. Okay. Yeah, it's only me working today. Well, you would be surprised. A lot of people don't come in on Saturdays. No, it's weird. I think it's mostly because people like to get out of work or school. So they just say they have an appointment, which is funny because a hair appointment isn't that serious, you know. But I've heard from like a few nurses that have come in and seen me to get out of work. They'll say they have a very important appointment, and somehow their bosses never ask them what it's about, which is funny. And then their important appointment just happens to be me giving them a haircut. Yeah, I don't blame them. They have really tough jobs. I mean, I'm constantly standing on my feet all day, and it stinks. It's not fun. So I couldn't imagine like working a 14-hour shift. Would you ever dye your hair? I mean, you're like, what, 20 something? 22? Yeah. I mean, at that age, it's kind of hard because you want to have fun while you're still young, even though I'm a firm believer that you can have fun at like 60, but whatever. But also, if you do anything crazy to your hair, it can kind of interfere with like potential job offers. Like, I really wanted to dye my hair like a light pink. But I had my first job, which was just a secretary at an office. And it was like when I was doing community college for business, because I had already done my cosmetology stuff. But I wasn't sure if that's exactly what I wanted to do. But obviously I needed to make money because I was in college debt, you know. So I applied to be a secretary, and they interviewed me, and I had pink hair, and they said no. Okay, that side's done. Well, I'm not very salty about it now, because, I mean, obviously now I'm doing something that I love, you know? And I've made like so many great friends from doing this, and relationships. So it's fine, I guess. But yeah, it stinks because it's like you're not allowed to have tattoos, you're not allowed to have fun hair. In like the corporate world, it kind of stinks. Like you can't really express yourself how you want to. That's why I like being a hairdresser too, is that being a hairdresser basically means you can have crazy hair, kind of like how like a tattoo artist is allowed to have a whole body covered in tattoos, because, you know, it's part of their job. So once you get out of college, do you know what you're gonna do? That's normal. I mean, like I said, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to continue being a hairdresser. I'm just gonna take the clip out, and I have like 2 more sections. I noticed you do have a bit of a curtain bang going on. Do you want me to just trim those, leave them? Do you want me to make them shorter? It's really whatever you want. Trim them. Yeah, bangs are iffy. I had bangs for a little bit, and I did look cute with them, but they are a lot of work. When I was in middle school, I got bangs. Yeah, and I was like really cute with them for like a day, and then they grew out, and it was like little spider legs going down my eyes, and they were awful. Okay, so we just need to do this side. So I'm gonna pin this side there. Do you have any plans for summer? Yeah, I don't blame you. I was supposed to go on a vacation, but then one of our girls got pregnant. So I told her I would just take care of all her appointments. I don't know why I did that. But it's more money, I guess, in my pocket. If you want to look at it on the bright side. So I'm just gonna... So, I ask all my clients this, not to be creepy or anything, but I do like a little bit of juicy gossip. So, do you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, significant other, husband, wife, hookup, I don't know, a flame? Well, I suppose my own love life is so boring, I just ask everybody that. Plus, I happen to know a lot of people, so if you're currently into somebody and want some details on their life, I do happen to know quite a lot of people. Okay. Yeah, but that doesn't count. That's in high school. I mean, like, now. Like, are you seeing anybody now? You are? Okay. Like, you're actually dating, or is it just like a weird situationship type thing? Okay. You've been on a few dates, but you're not really sure yet. That's completely valid, and I think that's the best way to go about things. Can I ask what his name is? Okay. Tell me what your first impression of him was, and then I'll tell you what my first impression of him was. He's sweet. Yeah, okay. Yeah. He bought you flowers on the first date. That's cool. You know, a lot of men do buy their dates flowers on the first date. I'm just gonna clean these off. So, how did you meet him? Yeah. Okay. I know him actually. Yeah, he's quite the character. Well, I don't know if I should tell you anything more. No. Well, it's good that he's nice to you. Yeah. Well, his ex-wife. Did he tell you he has an ex-wife? No? Well, that's awkward. Okay. No. He has an ex-wife, and he has a child with her. Did he tell you he has a child? That doesn't surprise me. So, his ex-wife, I don't know her that well, but she does occasionally come in to get her hair done. Yeah, so basically, one day she came home from work and he had the day off because he had some sort of appointment, like he had blood work or something that needed to be done. I'm not sure, because he does like construction, and obviously you shouldn't go back to work after blood's been drawn. He told you he does construction, right? It's good that he was open about something. But yeah, so she came home and he wasn't home, which she thought was odd because, you know, when you get your blood work done, you're really not supposed to be like doing a lot of things like driving, because he's been known to like already be a pretty terrible and unsafe driver. So him out on the road after his blood was freshly drawn is like, somehow it rubbed her the wrong way. I do think she was being a little paranoid. So I'm assuming maybe something had already happened prior that caused her to be more paranoid. Alright, I'm gonna take this claw clip out, and then I only have one more section of your hair to do. So anyways, she asked one of his friends, I forget which friend, because he seems to know quite a lot of people, but she texted one of his friends and asked where he was because he left his phone at home, which was a little strange, right? So there was no way she could text her husband. So yeah, she texted one of his friends, and one of his friends was like, I don't know where he is. So she got very worried. And did I leave out? She got home from work early. So yeah, she got out of work early, and was picking up her kid from daycare, and then she came home. And by the time she came home, it was like an hour or two, like, before she would have gotten home at a normal schedule. So he must not have, like, expected her to be home so early. There we go. So yeah, then he comes home at, like, a little before she would have gotten home from work. So, like, if she got home from work normally at, like, 5 o'clock, he got there at, like, 4:50. And she was, like, so worried, pacing around in the living room. And he comes home from work, or not from work, sorry. He comes home when he thinks she's almost home from work. And he opens the door, and she's just standing there, and she sees that he has a phone in his hand. And of course, she's like, oh my god, where have you been? She notices the phone. She's like, what's that? You know, like, your phone's on the counter over there charging. Why do you have an entirely different phone? Yeah. So she takes the phone out of his hand and basically threatens him. It's like, if you don't give me the password to this phone, then you won't ever see your child ever again. So he reluctantly, I guess, gives her the phone. She opens it up, and this man has been talking to a 64-year-old woman. 64. And he's 27. Tell me how that's okay. How do you go from, like, your beautiful wife who's, like, 26 or whatever to a, like, 60-year-old woman? It makes no sense to me. How can you even do anything when you're that old? That's what I don't understand. So, yeah. And of course, she was, like, absolutely blown away by this, and she just packed up her stuff and left the house. And I think she, like, stayed at her mom's for a little bit with her kid. And then she came back home, like, I think a few days later, because she had found an apartment, so she was gonna get all of her stuff and leave. And the 60-year-old something woman is there. I know. And he's just, like, playing Yahtzee with her. And yeah, I just basically did not learn his lesson. So yeah. No, they're not together anymore. Now, she divorced him very promptly after. I don't think he's seen his kid in, like, 2 years. And as for that, like, 60-year-old woman, she actually moved to Kansas and started dating a retired football player. Yeah, I know. And now she's, like, almost a millionaire, because now that they're married, you know, she gets a little bit of his assets. So I would definitely be careful about him, because he seems to be a basket case. Well, like, if you're into basket cases, that's different. But he also has a child, and you're only 22, you said, so do you really need to have the worries of a child under your belt? I don't think so. Also, do you still want me to just trim your curtain bangs? You want me to make them shorter? Okay, I'll make them flare out a little. Yeah, like I said, I know a lot of things that go on in this town. Well, if I don't hear it from the actual person themselves, I tend to hear it from a family member that comes in who just, lays on way too much information. Yeah. But I'll just let you know, girl, there's, tons of people out in the world, and I don't think this guy is gonna be the one for you. You seem like you could do a lot better. Yeah. So, I think your hair is good. I'm just going to brush out any remaining hairs that I've cut out. So now I always like to add in just a little product at the end, even if it is just a trim, because product is never bad for you. So I have some hair oil. I'm just gonna put some in my hand. Massage it. I'm making sure to get the ends of your hair as well. Some leave-in conditioner. Don't worry, all the products I used are vegan friendly, just so that everybody is included. So I'm just gonna, a little goes a long way. And then we're just gonna massage that in. I don't know if you use leave-ins on your hair, but just always a common word of advice is to never apply it directly to your scalp or roots, because our roots naturally get greasy as it is. So instead you apply it to the ends of your hair and then work your way up, but never fully to your roots. So, tell me how you feel. Do you like it? That's great to hear. Yeah, a trim really just helps anybody out, I think, you know. So, let's see. We didn't give you layers. So, no layers. And then just alright, your total is going to be $35. And if you want, I can keep your information, or if you want, I can just discard it. But if I keep your information, I can always call you whenever I have free appointments if you're interested. And if you give me your birthday, we actually give 10% birthday discounts. So I will always call 1 week prior to a customer's birthday and offer them the discount. So I hope you like your hair, and then you can just meet me at the counter and we can go ahead and pay for it. So yeah, see you then.